Hello to everyone watching, and a big thank you for tuning in today. In this special episode of our channel, we will delve into a topic that has sparked intense debates and heated discussions: the ongoing legal and political dispute between the Texas government and federal authorities in Washington. We are delving into a subject that deeply touches upon the Texas-Mexico border issue, a topic that many analysts believe could shake the foundations of federalism in the United States. And before we proceed, a friendly reminder: if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Today, we will explore in depth the escalating tension between Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the federal government in Washington. This dispute, which was already simmering, heated up even further on Friday, January 26th, when the U.S. Supreme Court made an impactful decision. At the heart of this controversy is the Supreme Court's ruling against the barbed wire barriers that were erected by Texas along its border with Mexico. These barriers, which were implemented as a means to prevent the entry of illegal immigrants, are now at the center of a major controversy. The Supreme Court asserted that Texas lacks legal authority to install these barriers, emphasizing that the management and security of the borders are responsibilities solely held by the federal government. The recent move by Texas Governor Greg Abbott is sparking heated debates across the country. Unprecedentedly, he has decided to deploy the Texas National Guard to directly interfere in the activities of federal border agents. This action is particularly surprising, since it is customary for the National Guard to operate under the direction of the state governor and not in direct opposition to federal authorities. This unusual scenario raises several critical questions. There is growing concern about what could happen if federal agents were ordered to remove the barriers imposed by the state of Texas. Furthermore, what would occur if the Texas National Guard were instructed to resist these federal actions? This standoff could escalate into a serious, possibly even armed confrontation between state and federal forces. The possibility of such a confrontation not only raises alarms about political stability, but also about the legal consequences and implications for state sovereignty within the American Federation. The debate over a potential armed conflict has been a frequent topic in public discussions and the media. Often this coverage is marked by sensationalism, which can obscure the objective analysis of the facts. To truly understand the complexity of this situation, it is crucial to examine the role of governors in the United States, especially regarding the control of state military forces. This understanding is essential for assessing the implications of this unprecedented confrontation between state and federal authorities, and for predicting the possible outcomes of this dispute. In the United States, the relationship between the federal government and the states is a complex balance of power. Each state has significant freedom to make decisions in various areas, which is reflected in diverse policies. A clear example of this independence is how each state handles the death penalty, demonstrating how divergent policies can exist under the same national system. This state autonomy extends to many areas, such as fiscal administration and public safety. States determine their own paths on key issues, shaping policies that reflect the needs and values of their local populations. This diversity of approaches is a testament to the flexibility of the American Federalist system. However, when it comes to certain matters, federal guidelines and norms assume a dominant role. In fields like border security, the jurisdiction of the federal government is clear and unquestionable. States, despite their autonomy in other areas, must adhere to these federal guidelines. This duality sometimes leads to tensions between state and federal governments. A notable example of this tension is the case of Texas Governor Greg Abbott and his criticisms of the federal administration regarding border management. His stance reflects a common controversy on border issues, especially in light of the 2023 illegal immigration crisis. By the end of 2023, the U.S.-Mexico border plunged into an unprecedented crisis. The U.S. Border Patrol was on high alert, reporting a staggering number of detentions. Over 225,000 individuals were caught attempting to cross illegally. This historic record painted a concerning picture not only of the immigration crisis, but also raised suspicions that many more might have entered the country unnoticed. This complicated situation highlighted the immense challenges the U.S. faced in managing its borders. During President Joe Biden's administration, there was a sharp increase in illegal immigration, surpassing the eras of both Obama and Trump. During this time, the federal government, which is primarily responsible for border security, attempted to limit the independent actions of states in this regard. An example of this is Texas, where Governor Greg Abbott deployed the state's National Guard to reinforce border security with Mexico, a measure that reflected the tension and urgency of the issue. The National Guard, unlike federal military forces, is an entity subordinate to the states, with the governor in command for a range of missions. This includes everything from disaster relief to the management of civil disturbances. Recently, Texas used the National Guard to bolster security at its borders. It's important to note, however, that immigration is, by law, a federal responsibility, primarily administered by the U.S. Border Patrol. Therefore, the measures adopted by Texas, while with clear intentions, are technically beyond its legal jurisdiction. This overlap of responsibilities between Texas and the federal government has been a source of growing tension. This tension has intensified with the support of Republican-led states for Texas actions, as evidenced by a recent letter. While the possibility of internal armed conflict is an extreme one, localized confrontations in specific areas cannot be ruled out if tensions continue to escalate. The current political landscape in Texas is currently marked by a sharp dispute between state and federal authorities, particularly concerning the management of illegal immigration. The Texas government has been implementing physical and bureaucratic barriers, while the federal government is considering intervention to remove them. This has raised concerns and a lot of speculation about the escalation of the conflict. However, the idea that this disagreement could evolve into a civil war, something comparable to the 1861 to 1865 conflict in the U.S. that resulted in immense loss of life, appears to be quite remote. Several factors contribute to this improbability. Firstly, the Texas National Guard is aware of the serious legal consequences of violent action, especially if it results in injuries or deaths of federal agents. An armed confrontation of this magnitude would lead to serious legal proceedings and severe penalties under federal law. Additionally, so far, there is no indication of a coalition of states supporting such a drastic action. What we are currently witnessing is a clear dispute between state and federal authorities in the United States regarding immigration policies, especially in Texas. This dispute, which involves ideological and strategic differences, may result in moments of intense tension between the representative forces on both sides. However, considering the factors I mentioned earlier, it appears highly unlikely that this situation will develop into open armed conflict, and even less likely to evolve into a civil war, despite some more sensationalist analyses suggesting otherwise. So we conclude today's video. I hope the information shared has been helpful and enlightening. If you found this content interesting, please like and subscribe to the channel for more updates and in-depth analysis. Your participation is crucial for us to continue bringing relevant and detailed content. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.